Now to Montgomery County, where officials say a local woman is fighting for her life after what they're calling one of the worst dog attacks they've ever seen. Victoria Hatcher has already undergone 7 surgeries and will likely need many more. 3 pit bulls attacked her just over a week ago as she was walking near her home in the Hazy Hollow subdivision in Magnolia. Tammy Rimley heard the attack, drove over in her car, and called 911.
They were ripping her to shreds. I mean, she had holes in her about like this big, in her legs. She picked up her head, and all you see was just blood everywhere, all over her. 911 told me not to get out because they could have attacked me.
Authorities in Montgomery County admit they had received several reports of vicious dogs in the neighborhood.
Unfortunately, animal control they're inundated and can't get them all picked up. By the time they get out there, the dogs have gone back to their houses.
In a hearing today, a judge did order the dogs be euthanized in 2 days. The dog's owner was there as well, and he could also face charges. While Hatcher has a long road ahead, her family says she's showing progress.
She was able to write on a notepad, let us know what she was thinking and talking about. She was able to move her legs. However, the doctor says she could be there another 2 weeks or even longer.
This horrible case follows another we told you about this month in Huffman, where Nicholas Vasquez was also mauled by 3 dogs and later died at the hospital. Just hard to look at. And if you suspect there are dangerous dogs roaming your area and you live within city limits, you can contact BARK. That's the animal shelter. You can file a complaint, which then can lead also to an investigation. The animal control agency in your area.
Contact an animal shelter. Is that what he said? I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. This is my first time watching this news coverage. Let me rewind this. I have to hear that again. My apologies.
Hospital. Just hard to look at. And if you suspect there are dangerous dogs roaming your area and you live within city limits, you can contact BARK. That's the animal shelter. You can file a...
Contact an animal shelter? What are they going to do? All they're going to do is look down on you for assuming that dogs are dangerous. They're going to look down on you for showing fear. Oh, you're afraid? You think it's going to harm you? Don't call no nutters. The animal control, according to this police officer, he just said they not going to come pick them up. We've heard shelters, dog wardens, animal control officers say, hey, we're full. We're not going to come pick them up. Y'all remember that one animal control unit who said that they told people, if you see a dog out or at large, you catch it. We're not going to catch it. You catch it, you restrain it, and keep it in your house. And we'll come to your house to pick it up. Y'all remember that? But you see, it's only after something like this happens do they try to act like they're the responsible groups of people. Oh, just call the shelter. Oh, yeah, we'll handle it. Shut up. Typical. Now, who else did he say? He said, call an animal shelter. And who else?
Complaint, which then can lead also.
He said, file a complaint. What's going to do what? Ain't going to do nothing. Stop with this.
You can contact BARK. That's the animal shelter. You can file a complaint, which then can lead also to an investigation. The animal control.
Oh, lead to an investigation. Dude, if there are dogs out in the neighborhood, I don't need no fools to do no investigation. What are they going to investigate? This ain't time to play detective. You need men out there or women with guns. That's what I want. I want y'all to send somebody out here with pistols. But as we all know, you cannot depend on them to do that. So they are leaving it up to us to take care of situations like this. Dogs out in the neighborhood off leash spells doom, disaster. What are you going to do? Not go outside? What if you have to go to work? What if it is time for you to go to work? What are you going to do? And you got 3 pit bulls outside. Call the shelter so that they can insult you. Well, did you try to catch him? It's just Scooby-Doo. Oh, you're afraid of it? They're going to try to make you feel ashamed of being afraid. That's what they're going to do. You have cynophobia? Oh, something's wrong with you. These dog lovers are not our friends. They're not here to protect us from dogs. They're here to endanger us, to put us at risk. That's what they're here to do. That's why I say this over and over. We are on our own. Now, this is the full interview of the lady that you saw in the news report. And it's about 8 minutes long. I'll post that in the chat room. You all can check it out when you have time. She gives her take. She tells a story on what happened. As you could see, dogs were out just in the street, willy-nilly, wandering around just like all the other natural animals of the world. But nobody is afraid of those other animals. Now I want to bring your attention to this filthy, disgusting dog nutter right here. All you dog lovers, I want you to gather around here. Come on in the room. Because you're going to have to take some of this smoke. I want to draw y'all attention to this disgusting, filthy, subhuman trash dog nutter right here who left this comment. She said, "You should have used that money to fence your yard. I bet those dogs running loose don't have water or food readily available." She jumped on here and defended the dogs full force. They were probably just hungry. You were starving them to death. They were thirsty. Dogs are always hungry. I mean, if we're going to deal with this subject, if you want to point this out, and I want you to see this video, Sharon Collins. I want you to see wait a minute. Wait a minute here. I'm about to respond to this woman right now. I'm going to respond to her and I'm going to tell her that I'm addressing her comment right now. Where is it? Right here. Can you believe that? And look what else she wrote. Makes you wonder what type of shelter they have from the sun and the weather. Oh, the poor doggies were hungry, they were thirsty, and they didn't have shelter. That's why they mauled her. Unbelievable. So first of all, dogs they're always hungry. They can always eat. They're the only animals that will eat themselves to death. I've shared stories of where dogs have broken into dog food and ate so much they needed their stomachs pumped. Dogs are never full. And it doesn't matter. Even if a dog has just eaten, that is going to make it even more likely that they'll attack you, because now they have the energy to attack you. And they attack for no reason. They attack for sport. These mutts were not eating this lady because they were hungry, you idiot. Where is it? I'm responding to your disgusting, low-life, subhuman, trash comment on video right now. These people are absolutely the lowest, filthiest, trashiest, most disgusting, inhumane people on this planet, because these people defend dog attacks against children the exact same way she did right here. I've shared stories where groups of adults made up a lie, lied on children. Y'all remember that child who had his arm bitten off by a dog? The dog dug a hole under a fence, escaped, latched onto the boy, and tried to drag him back underneath the fence and ripped the toddler's arm off. These adults made up a lie, said the boy put a sock over his hand and reached his hand underneath the fence to play with the dog, antagonize the dog, and that the dog saw his hand in a sock and didn't know that it was the hand of a human. And a whole group of adult nutters got together and lied on that child. That lie was so absurd and ridiculous. I had to do a video on it immediately. Some of you who follow the channel for a while, you remember this. And shortly after I made that video calling that lie out, they came out and admitted that it was a lie. They came out and confessed that that was a lie. I bet those dogs running loose don't have water or food readily available. They were being abused. These people make me sick. And you have a bunch of nutters all through the comment section. And when you look at their comments, it's very despicable. Because a lot of them will say, oh, it's so irresponsible to let your dogs roam outside free off leash. How irresponsible. Wow. I can't believe you are such a horrible dog owner to do that. Let your dogs roam free off leash. My question is, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with letting your dogs roam free off leash? All other animals are roaming free off leash. You got deer out here, foxes, woodchucks. I see groundhogs all the time. And as soon as they see a human, they run. They don't attack us. All other animals on this planet go the opposite direction. Even animals capable of killing us. People, how many videos have I shown y'all where mountain lions came into contact with human beings, spotted human beings, turned around and walked away? They did not hiss, did not lunge, or anything. They looked at the person and kept walking, or turned in the opposite direction and walked away. Why don't dogs do the same thing? See, this is what I want to get down to. See, here's the comments right here. I hate when people just let their pets wander the streets. Keep an eye. Why? These are man's best friend. They should be the safest animals. They are the one animals who you shouldn't worry about wandering free off leash, because they're the only animals that you call man's best friend. So what are you talking about? Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to the lies and deceptions. In moments like this is when you're confronted with your lies and your fairy tales, your make-believe and your pretending that I'm always venting against. I don't want to see these comments about, oh, you let your dog roam free off leash. How irresponsible can you be? Shut your stupid mouth. Shut your stupid mouth. I don't want to hear it, dog nuts. I don't want to hear this. And it's comment after comment. Look, the very first one, the highest voted comment. I can't believe people are allowed to let their dogs run free. Now, if this was not a story about a dog attack, these people would talk about, oh, how loving dogs are. They're from heaven. We don't deserve dogs. Oh, if you want to experience true love, you have to experience a dog. Dog this, dog that. Love, love, love. But after a story like this, oh, I can't believe you did that. You let your dog roam free like all the other animals? Don't we see the contradiction here? Don't we see the irresponsibility here? You shouldn't have to call a dog warden on man's best friend. Anybody should be able to walk up to those 3 pit bulls, grab them by the collar, and walk them to their own home, and then make a report. Say, I got somebody's dogs here. Oh, did they attack you? Of course they didn't. These are man's best friend. What? Why would they attack me? None of the other animals in the world attack me. Why would you ask such a question? No. I'm going to press you dog nutters on this narrative where you're coming out ridiculing this dog owner for letting his dogs roam free. Why not? Literally, all other animals are doing the exact same thing. But those animals are minding their business. And when they see humans, they run in the opposite direction. All of them. It's to the point now where mountain lions, they know where humans live. And they do what? Avoid those areas. They avoid those territories. And even when you, a human being, wander into the woods, into their territory, they still don't attack you. So what are you talking about? But yet you want to hunt those mountain lions for sport. And you want to project them as evil, mean, nasty, dangerous animals that you need to protect your worthless mutts from. When I hear stories of a mountain lion attacking a dog, I privately celebrate. I celebrate. In my mind, I throw a party. Because I know those mountain lions attack that dog because they know that dogs are not like them. They know that dogs are vicious creatures that attack for sport. They kill even when they don't plan on eating. They kill just to kill. I don't want to hear nothing about no stupid food or lack of water or lack of shelter. Thank you. I'm about to respond to it. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I thank you. I thank you live. Okay? He said, but I thought pit bulls were peaceful, just like their owners. See, this is the thing. I don't want to hear all these comments now, nutters. Oh, what a responsible owner. Don't blame the dog, it's the owner. The owner, you let the dogs roam free off leash. How dare you treat dogs the same way we all treat all other animals. It's because all dog owners know full well that dogs are dangerous, that dogs attack for no reason. They all know that dogs attack unprovoked. And you nutters have made an entire industry based on blaming the victims. And you focus most of your attention on blaming children 13 and younger. Except when we question you about infants, then it's crickets. We don't even get a response from you then. In the members area, I made a video where I talked about how pit bulls are easy targets. Here's another example. Everybody wants to talk about how irresponsible it was to let the dogs roam free off leash. No, you're not allowed to complain about that, because these are the wonderful, loving dogs from heaven that you all brag about so much. You take all these photos, upload all these photos on Instagram, Facebook. You bend over backwards. You work day and night to project dogs as harmless. You have this sick fetish where you want to leave a dog alone with a baby, infant, a toddler, and you want to take several pictures, record several videos, and upload them to social media, trying to project these dogs as harmless, misunderstood pibbles. See, this dog didn't attack my baby. They're just misunderstood. So you're not allowed to point the finger at the dogs being off leash. You're not allowed to ridicule this owner for allowing these mutants to roam free off leash. And if you do, you should remove all the photos, everything you've ever posted in defense of dogs, pit bulls, whatever. And this is the failure of the media. Because when you look at these stories, when you listen to these media reports, they never point out the things that I'm pointing out now. They never deal with the hypocrisy. And that's really why I have this channel. Because I do everything that the media outlets, the mainstream media outlets, don't do. They don't point this out. All they say is, oh, our hearts are with the victim. Oh, if you can help. Oh, that's so saddening to hear. As if this is just some type of normal thing that we cannot prevent. See, in their mind, they convince themselves that they can't prevent this from happening because they will never entertain the thought of banning dogs. Here's another one. This is a different
Only on
media
tonight,
outlet.
a woman battling for her life after being viciously attacked by dogs in Magnolia. On Monday, Rebecca Hatcher left her home and was mauled by 3 dogs. A neighbor found her close to death in a ditch. She was rushed to the hospital where she remains in the ICU tonight.
I could say she's holding her own.
They're treating her like a burn victim. And because I had asked that question, why so many back-to-back surgery? She had one Friday, she had one yesterday, and she's having one today. And that's when they said they're treating her like a burn.
Rebecca suffered injuries to her legs, back, arms, and neck. Her family says seeing her like this is heartbreaking, and they worry about the financial burden that the continued care will bring.
We don't know what her future will be. What she will be when she comes out of all this. Hopefully, if she comes out of this, I hate to say that, but so any help with medical expenses, that would be grateful.
The dogs that attacked her are now in the custody of animal control. No word whether the owner of those dogs will face any charges. Only on Tuesday.
You see how they talk about it as if she got struck by lightning? as if it was some type of act of nature. They talk about it like this because they view it as an act of nature, because they want it to be natural to own dogs. They want to project dogs in society as something that's natural. They don't want to speak about dogs as if they don't belong in our communities. That's what gives me all the fuel for this channel. And that's what we need to be dealing with. These media outlets should be talking about how stories like this flies in the face of all the pro-dog propaganda. All these movies, commercials, all these ads, all these media stories where they want to cover a shelter. Oh, we have this shelter here and they're full of dogs, and don't you want to adopt? Please adopt one of these loving poodles. Even though they're talking about pit bulls, they make sure to frame the narrative as if these pit bulls are just as harmless as a poodle. No. You got to put these people's hypocrisy in their face. So, yet another victim of this country's most beloved so-called animals. And once again, you never see people. They mention that guy who just died. I covered him as well. Y'all remember Kylie Waltman, who got mutilated, had her legs amputated, had her colon removed. In those 3 cases and all the other mutilations, once again, it's only dogs that do people like this. And really, specifically, only pit bulls that mutilate people this severely. And these pit bull nutters insist that the bite style and aggression of a pit bull is no more dangerous than any other dog. So I view these people, dog lovers in general, as easy targets. And I view pit bulls and pit bull owners as even easier targets. And I'm going to do my best to put pressure on this sick, deranged, inhumane culture where these people glorify murderous beasts from hell. Dogs are demonic beasts from the pits of hell that are incapable of loving, that are only deserving of extermination. They are not deserving of food, water, or shelter. The only thing, and these dogs are mutilating the one and only organisms on this planet that provides food, water, and shelter for them. No other living creature provides food, water, and shelter for dogs. And humans have been doing this for thousands of years. Yet dogs and only dogs mutilate people like this. That is why I say they deserve nothing but extermination. And I'm willing to debate anybody on this. Yes, I make these extreme statements. Yes, I'm trying to trigger people by making these statements. But I'm only saying this because I know I can back it up. I can argue this no matter who I debate with. And that's why I want to debate the most educated among you dog lovers. I want your behaviorists. I want your veterinarians. I've been inviting you to debate for a very long time now. You don't take up my challenge because you know that I can back up this statement. So let's hope we see the complete extermination of dogs, starting with pit bulls, starting with all bully breeds, a lot sooner than later, so that we don't have to deal with stories like this again. And the sad part, and people keep in mind, this was yet another woman. Another woman. You know, what more can I say? What more do I need to say to argue my case? Let's hope we see the extermination of these mutants. And the worst part about this is that the injuries that this woman suffered, that the gentleman suffered a couple weeks ago, that Kylie Waltman suffered, the injuries that they suffered are usually sustained by kids 13 and under. Over 50% of all dog attack victims are children 13 and under. And the age demographic that are attacked most often are children between the ages of 5 and 9. 5 and 9. And not even that is enough for these people to exterminate these things. What more do these worthless demonic mutants have to do? They mutilate your infants. Not only do you still not exterminate them, you glorify them even more. What a sick, bizarre world we live in. Shout out to everybody who's able to join me for this brief live stream. Just wanted to report on this horrific story. Marvin, Jonathan Payne, as always, shout out to you. Louise, Serena, good to see you all again. Thank you all for your input. Was this in Ohio? Yeah, thank you. I didn't even, where was this? Where did this take place? Was it in Ohio? Ohio is a lot of dog attacks in Ohio. Ohio is terrible. I live in Ohio. Right? BK Bourne. You know, shout out to everybody for everybody's input. People have been leaving a lot of really good comments. I hope you continue to do so. I see a lot of your comments on a lot of channels around YouTube, and you know, it makes me feel good. You know, it feels like I'm part of a team, you know, and we need to put pressure on these dog lovers, make our presence felt, because they dominate message boards, and that emboldens them. You know, if they see a large crowd of people out here confronting them with facts, logic, and common sense, they will keep their stupid mouths shut. Kodiak, 1400K, and anybody else, ABQ Girl, anybody else I may have forgotten, big shout out to you all. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you all on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.